What's up, everybody? Welcome on back. Kings Cup 2 is here. It started. We're already one game in. It's ROOONS versus compLexity, and we're back in the Royal Court once again. Got Lacoste, Jenkins, and Trent all joining us here. All right, gentlemen, I cracked open a monster. The day has just started, and already it's looking pretty good. compLexity had a hot game number 1, but are we going to see ROOONS pull it back? Lacoste, you.
No.
Sure. All right. Well, that was a great slurp.
That was great. That was great. Did you even hear what I said?
No, it was
no,
so
it
fast,
was
right?
no, it was actually a no.
Okay.
So, I think overall compLexity has what it takes to compete with the better teams. ROOONS, Jenkins has some inside info. Still a young team, but I would say in a best of 3 or best of 5, they could take a game away from them.
Oh,
Young
look at this.
team.
Yeah.
They know.
Speaking of inside info, I actually have some inside info on.
Whoa, careful, Jenkins.
What
All
kind
right.
of panties does
Whoa.
Jubei wear?
Yeah.
He doesn't wear pants.
Yeah.
Or panties.
Oh.
He eats with his hands.
Eats with his hands.
Just kidding. That's
What a
I
savage.
Boris is actually gonna get kicked off this team after the series because he stole the tomes from BSJ. BSJ wanted to use the tomes, and I got a personal message from Boris. He's gonna get kicked off of this team, and he wants to make a team with me, Jenkins, Trent, and Lacoste and Dakota. So
Okay, cool.
All right, sweet.
we're set after this, and we
Can I manage?
You can be the water boy.
Why wouldn't you not like
You can be the
Lacoste?
monster
Lacoste
boy. I don't know.
last Kings Cup was like one of the biggest Boris advocates ever.
Yeah.
Boris
I don't
the
know.
Blade.
Boris
I don't
the
know. I
brave
think we're
boy.
probably gonna get Demon on the team instead, dude.
Yep.
That's true.
I made all of that shit up. By the way.
What? Wait,
that
what?
wasn't
I don't talk with
real.
players.
That wasn't reality.
Oh, jeez. I just don't know what's happening anymore. So we did lose the old Brood Mama. I think talking about going back to strats that you're good
Yeah,
with.
they're just not letting it.
They're just like, nah, we don't want to
It's
deal
great.
with that in the 2-3.
You know, is that kind of defeating as a team? Like when you find your niche for this moment in time of Dota at this patch, you found like ROOONS is like we're one of the best Broodmother teams right now on the block. Now everyone knows that and they take that away. Is that really that's got to feel a little sad because now you have to think of what your number 2 and number 3 options
It's definitely a little sad. I would say that the number 2 option is actually Wisp because Jubei is possibly I don't want to say he's the best in NA because there's all these tier 1 players.
Like Crit was like one of the original like Wisp like NA like
Yeah,
NEL
Crit is
lords.
European. Just a sec.
I mean, he did all of his Wisp
yeah,
grinding
let's,
in NA for
yeah.
sure.
He's been through the NA meat grinder. He's North
Yeah.
American. He came out, formed one big old beef American patty, 100%.
But we did learn a few things with the sauce right there, with the European sauce they throw in there. We learned that for sure. But I would consider him at least an NA Wisp. Jubei's right there though.
It's gonna be
right there.
It's gonna be a first phase or first pick drow.
And
It's
Siegfried
not
is
banned
great.
here.
Yeah, Siegfried Wisp. I mean, Siegfried can just play anything. That guy's way too good at Dota, at life.
Yeah. At life?
Yeah.
What's he good at in life?
I don't know, picking up chicks. I don't know.
Have
dude.
you ever
Playing a professional video game
Picking up-
sponsored by the
I don't know, dude.
Dallas Cowboys.
He's really good at Dance Dance Revolution. I don't know.
Oh shit! I used to be pretty good. At
He's
Dance
good
Dance
at everything.
Revolution.
He's good at life. He's good at everything.
He's got a lot.
Wow, guys.
Drought
Wow.
Ranger,
It's
predictable.
Drought.
Who would have predicted that?
Uh,
They're gonna instantly Wyvern. You have to instantly Wyvern for sure here, right? It's like a Drow lineup.
With or against the draw you're talking about?
Both.
Again.
I mean,
if-
I see good either
If
way,
they
really.
could pick Drow and Winter Wyvern,
You would take it, yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's-
take it against because it's so good against. You take it with because you don't want to play against it.
yeah, in this case, if they don't pick Wyvern, they can actually just pick something else that's better and ban Wyvern in the next phase. Because like Wyvern's okay
yeah,
with
but
Drow,
yeah,
but
exactly. Okay, so the silencer.
that's an envy hero.
Huh.
That's also an envy here.
That is interesting.
so
No.
they just take Wyvern against the Terrorblade,
No
Silencer.
Wyvern. Yeah, that seems pretty good.
I mean, it's not
Although
the greatest to play Winter Wyvern against the Silencer,
Yeah.
but you can always go Mana Boots and then you buy, I've seen it a couple of times, just buy a Lotus Orb and you can remove the Global
10
Suns and
Well,
just cancel the whole
Pardon
fight
my
and-
ignorance. Why would you say it's bad? Is it because Wyvern's a very
5
spammy
seconds
hero?
remaining.
I feel like once you get what you need off of Wyvern, you're pretty much
because you
done.
want to cancel the fight with the Winter Wyvern, or you want to start the fight and have a follow-up, and if you use a Winter's Curse, you can always follow it up with
I
this.
guess it's, yeah,
with
in
the
that sense,
global.
it's like a Faceless Void where you know he jumps in and he's
Yeah,
going
and
to
it's
pop a
just
bubble. It's
global.
like shit's about to
Yes.
go down, so
Yeah.
hit the silence button.
yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
really
fair.
nice to use the silencer too to like preemptively. It's like, okay, we're gonna global then fight, and then they just can't cast anything for the fight. Once the global's down, we leave. Like if you have like an Enigma, for example, plus a silencer, it doesn't matter if they have counters. You just global and then whole. It's pretty good. Teams have gotten a lot better at using the silencer, which is why he just keeps getting nerfed and he's still very, very good.
I feel like Sanser is not that good anymore, to be honest.
so?
He's one of my favorite and most played heroes. He got nerfed so much, and I've seen Silencer in many competitive games. They just end up being completely useless.
So you're just
If
saying
you
that
don't
because
get-
you love Silencer, you don't want to get
Yes.
nerfed more.
Yes.
Bias?
That's some bias.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I personally think Silencer is really good, and please hit that hero with a huge nerf bat in the face. I'm so sick of laning against that hero.
He's not that strong anymore.
He's not, but I still hate laning
I
against
hate
him.
him too.
He is
I
still
hate-
annoying.
I
So
hate that.
annoying in
I'm,
Pudge.
okay, the reason I hate Silencer is because I play Pudge. You die once to
Yeah.
that guy, you can't cast Hook Dismember anymore. It's like, well, guess I need to buy a Soul Ring. It's like not fun
Guess
at all.
I'm a dumbass now, and I
Yeah.
don't know my spells. Damn it.
I can't read them
Yeah.
anymore.
I love Pudge
And
as
it's like
well.
you rot yourself to death all the time, and you
Yeah.
still lose int. I don't get it.
Yeah, you guys are you're both Pudge lovers here too.
Yes.
Yeah. How many games do you have, Jenkins?
1,500, I think.
I have around 1,000. In Dota too, yeah. So
Oh wow, he's taking up the Dota 1 days.
Dude, well, if you're talking competitive too, I got a lot of competitive Pudge games. There are
We should have like a
losses,
fun
but-
Pudge 1v1 mid. I know that's not competitive.
Dude,
in
I'm
integrated
down.
Pudge, but it'd be
That'd be
fun like a
fun.
Pudge
That'd
1v1
be
mid
really
lane for
fun.
fun.
we can play Pudge Wars.
Pudge Wars.
That'd be
Oh,
sweet, yeah. Let's
Well,
do it.
Pudge War game for sure.
Let's do it, dude.
All right, complexity, get a Weaver. So now you got Weaver with the benefit of a Drow. It's also
Weaver
very
into
elusive.
Silencer seems very. That leads me to believe
10
that it's going to
seconds
be a
remaining.
Z-Freak Weaver.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ah, yeah.
Because Weaver
5
is.
seconds
It's like
remaining.
picking Weaver into Sky. Sky counters Weaver because you have the silence, but it's a really paper-thin hero you can just run out with the Drow Aura in lane. And Silencer's exactly like that, other than the fact that he can use the thing that if you cast spells, like, does a ton of damage.
If you're spamming it on a support, then
Yeah.
sure,
Exactly,
he's
it
gonna
matters
be, he's gonna
a
be
lot
happy.
less.
He's
yeah,
gonna be happy.
He's fine with that, exactly.
Sanser is one of the better heroes against the Weaver because if you use Arcane Curse, Weaver has just in general a slow movement speed, and if you don't have boots early on and you don't
Oh,
go
yeah,
for
that's
boots,
true.
you just don't move, and you don't want to use Shiguchi because it's just gonna keep
Yeah,
proccing.
That's
Seconds
that's a really smart ban from ROOONS to go for the axe instead of the wyvern too, because they've been playing the axe so much for
5
envy, and it
seconds
actually is.
remaining.
It's a hero that jumps in, but it doesn't really matter if the global happens after, right? Like there's no like real fall from an axe. Like maybe he's not gonna dunk, but it's just some support axe anyway.
Yeah, and then also like his fighting is so persistent that it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's like he
Team
just goes in
back.
8 seconds later,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's the axe is actually a very obnoxious 5-roll. He's just very tanky. He
I
has
was
like
actually wondering if I heard that right because Envy has been playing it.
Yeah.
He's the 5-roll axe.
yeah.
What have I been missing?
Yeah, you missed
I
that
didn't
too.
see that
Where-
game.
well,
I
I've
heard
been
about it,
under a
but I
rock.
didn't see
They
the
played
game.
it for like the entire qualifier was just axe. Like he literally
I'm not-
only played axe or
Yeah.
ogre.
That's pretty
It was great.
awesome.
Yeah.
So what do
They're
you
two similar
you don't
You
heroes.
just
jungle,
spam battle hunger.
You spam
battle
Battle
hunger,
Hunger,
spam.
and then
5
he's a
seconds
hero who,
remaining.
with the new change to Stout Shield, where it blocks 2 more damage. Obviously, Axe benefits from that massively because he just tanks shit all the time.
But as a 5 and not a 4
yeah,
doing that.
because
Yeah.
he has the highest base regen in the game.
Okay.
So you sit there and you get hit, and he just heals through it. He basically has like a free half a tango going at all points.
Doesn't Nyx have more region?
I think Nyx might have a little bit more. It's like
It's like Nyx and
they're
then
very close. So
Ogre,
it's like
Nyx
Axe,
and
Axe,
Axe.
Nyx, Ogre, Night Stalker.
So you're just lying on a stream.
well,
Bat
okay,
Rider.
it's
You're lying under the King's Oath?
I mean, do you know
the
who
King's
who the
Throne?
highest, I don't know who the exact highest is. Dude, this game changes like every 2
Well,
weeks.
if you were Purge, you would know probably, right?
I
away.
leave
That guy
Nyx
seems
is
to know everything.
4.1.
4.75.
Your Purge impression is so bad. Okay, so but I guess my follow-up, because I don't want to hang on Axe too
Oh,
long,
nailed
is like, if he's a 5-position Axe, then what happens after the laning phase? Then like he's not getting a Blink Dagger too fast, I imagine. So what becomes
you
his
go
purpose in
for it.
mid-game?
He can farm kind of fast. You
You
just go grab some waves on, wherever your
So
team isn't.
You just go
kinda
somewhere where it's open to take the farm milk class?
The
All
thing,
right,
with- the thing with the with Axe is like you really only need a blink, so it's not that bad of a.
It's true.
Oh, the Rubik pick.
It reminds me a lot of like people. That's what they said when they were delegating Clockwork away from the 3 back into
Yeah.
a 4. They're like, well, you just need to get to hook shot eventually, and you're pretty much fine.
Yeah,
So
exactly. It's like he
it's like,
well,
alright.
you think about it, like, he doesn't really need that much.
I think
Really
it's
think about it.
so interesting that they also go for the Undying ban too, because we talked about how Wyvern's kind of bad with like the whole idea of the silencer and stuff, and Tombstone is a lot like Axe, where like you
10
throw down
seconds
Tombstone and
remaining.
Undying. Like, obviously, you want to decay spam and you want to cast Soul Orb and stuff, but it's not that big of a
5
deal as long as like the
seconds
Tombstone's
remaining.
already down, or then
Yeah.
later on you die and stuff. And they're actually taking away Envy heroes instead of focusing on all those Drow +1s that we've always talked about for like forever, right? Like Storm Spirit, for example, is like something that's still in. I mean, yeah, you're playing against a silencer, so maybe it's not this big pick. But traditionally, whenever a Drow comes out early, the rest of the bans are just
yeah,
Drow heroes.
maybe Huskar even. I don't know.
I think when you have a Drow Ranger strat, you need to have that one strength hero that goes in. So someone that's gonna initiate, someone that's gonna be a that one tanky
Rasta.
frontliner. Maybe how Panda's still in the pool, and it fits well. And it also feels so shitty when you have to play melee hero with the Drow Ranger lineup.
It does, yeah.
So that's probably a Z-Freak Shaman, right? Isn't that like one of his heroes? I mean, maybe it'll be Envy.
I feel like it's an Envy Shaman just because that kind of fulfills the same. Like, he's a high base damage hero. He's good at just beating the crap out of somebody in the lane. Like, I feel like they're just focusing so heavily on picking Envy. They're literally picking Axe, like trading heroes as the 5 in the lane to just distract from the carry so the carry can get something in a lane that they're supposed to lose. I don't know about you guys, but I really feel like with this complexity lineup, Envy is actually carrying every game. Like, he is completely enabling his teams in the early game. He's being absolutely obnoxious with like his wards, his positioning. Like he's, I don't know. I guess
have you ever watched him stream playing support? Where like he just plays this weird support. Like it's the same way he plays in these games, where like he just runs so deep on the enemy side of the map.
Yes.
And like he wants to be seen, and he wants like 3 heroes to chase him.
It is legitimately obnoxious.
Yeah.
He knows from that position, like how I'm sure he's had games where he's chased that support, and it's like he knows what can pull you out of your element, pull you away from what you want to get done in the games, and not you're like going down this crazy dusty road that really leads nowhere.
Exactly.
That's so wild.
Pickup that I like. A Centaur naturally builds into Crimson Guard, so this is one of the better items that you can get against Drow Ranger lineups.
Again, it works. I'm pretty sure it works against the Serpent wards now too.
Yep.
I think it didn't before, but they changed it so that it works against a lot of the stuff in the game that it used to.
I like how it's also like an initiation hero with the silencer too, right? Like we talk about like global for Bat Rider and Storm Spirit, but you can like global and stampede in, and like no one's gonna get stopped. So if you have one of those like counter initiators, which they are desperately lacking right now for Cole.
Centaur's just really good too against these 3 heroes. Like they're very burstable. All of them are very squishy. And if you just, like you said, if you just silence before you go in, you can kill the Weaver before he uses time lapse. Kill any of these heroes before they use any of their spells, and then all of a sudden it's a 4v5.
All right.
TA Drow.
Very thin lineup here from complexity. A lot of little glass cannons.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of meat on the bones here.
No sustain either.
So, complexity picked that because they have a ban and they have to pick first anyway. So they're gonna pick TA so that way TA doesn't get banned. That way they can ban something.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
So what would you ban? Because ROOONS still has the mid pickup.
The Huskar's still in, so that's probably
you
the
would
obvious
definitely
one.
ban the Huskar. Yeah, that is
That's the big boy.
the classic boy. Yeah, we saw that one last night. Didn't we?
That was great.
It's already this 4 ranged lineup for this Drow. Complexity like win the laning phase. It's just like feels like snowball heaven.
Yeah, this Weaver's gonna go nuts. I think.
All right. Do you think someone's convincing Snaking to just play Underlord right now?
Oh my god, I hope not.
Underlord with the Weaver, you know?
Oh my god, dude.
Z-Freak Weaver.
It's really good against the Terrorblade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
they ban
thinking about
Huskar.
Panda. Okay, so it's
Wyvern.
5 range lineup. Damn.
So possibly
No,
Core Wyvern, Core Weaver, one of these 2 heroes.
Yeah, no tank per se.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Heroes are really squishy. If they want to go something like a Tiny, they can burst pretty much any hero on the side of complexity.
Tiny's pretty good against TA. I mean Veno, Viper. These heroes are good against TA.
Not a whole lot of time going on either.
Does Lena find time in the mid lane?
No.
Ember.
Okay, I was gonna say Ember, but that's like
Dakota, you just ruined it.
Sorry.
it's like a really
Ruined it.
it's like a really skill-based matchup, and I think a lot of people say TA actually favors that if they're equally skilled. I don't know. That's one of those, like, we talked about this last night. It's there's a lot of these mid players that one person will say like, oh yeah, this hero crushes this one. Then everybody else will be like, oh, no. Like, what was the Bloodseeker Necro? Was your example?
Like
Everybody says Bloodseeker owns Necro, Necro owns Bloodseeker. That's the exact same thing as a TA Ember. Is that it's just like,
Who plays it better?
who plays it better? Honestly, will crush the other one.
Would you say it's like, you know, rock meets rock in a rock paper scissor match? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe scissors.
two
meet
slightly
scissors.
differently shaped rocks, I guess.
A rock from Canada and a rock from America.
Obviously, Rock from Canada would win that one, so I don't
Does
think
Canada
that's
have
The
better
Rock
rocks?
from
We got- we do,
Canada
we got-
would just say sorry
ever
and move
seen
to the
the
side,
Canadian
and then
shield?
American one
All right.
wins.
What about
Oh, come
European
on.
rock over here? All
A
right.
third of our country is just one giant rock.
It is.
the
Fair enough.
Canadian shield. It's
I
just a
live on
big
that.
rock.
Yeah,
There
it
you
is
go.
True. Have you looked in the mountains around here though? We got some good rock.
They
I
have
gotta
a-
say.
Oh, they go up to Canada.
We
anyway.
Americans, we have Rocky Mountains.
Those are our rocks too.
We Americans.
The Rocky
we have bigger rocks than your rocks.
Yeah, we have Kid
Canada.
Rock. All right. What do you
Oh,
guys
okay,
got?
all right.
All right,
fair.
Dakota
That's
has
it.
the papers.
Is
so
Chris
that,
Rock
that's what
Canadian
matters.
or
Schedule, I just keep
American?
folding like I'm a
Rock
talk
is
show.
American?
Yeah.
I'll bring that one up.
They have the rock too. We really.
We do
lost.
have the Rock as well.
We
All right,
got
you guys
Rock.
got to double step it up. All right, folks, we're getting into game number 2 of King's Cup 2. I did that voice.
No, I'm
Yeah.
very aware.
I was channeling my inner like Clash of Clans.
It was so
announcer
good.
for that. Here we go. It's ROOONS versus compLexity. Remember, these are all 2-game series. It's 1 point, 1 win. And for these group stages between these 8 teams where we're looking for the top 2 who make it out and into the playoffs to meet up with Forward Gaming and Pain Gaming.
Where's the
Good time.
have fun? What's that supposed to mean? That's,
No,
that's
what
what we're
was it?
missing here.
It was
Enjoy.
Enjoy your ass beating. It's like
They
Limp.
did not
Have mercy,
enjoy.
Limp. I know Limp is
What a pleasurable ass beating that must have been.
Limp is just like thinking ahead of the game. Enjoy. I just like imagine him at the computer doing that.
What about the build on Weaver? Tango, Healing South, 2 branches, Fairy Fire, and he bought a Sentry Ward for himself.
Ooh, I like that.
The Brax.
That is the
Yeah, so
Brax
he
right there.
blocked it.
That is something that is becoming more and more common. I'm
30
seeing with
seconds
offlaners
to
is
battle.
buying their own sentry and then using it to because then you can just the only reason that you want a ward in the offlane for the most part these days because you're always going to pressure is to just block the
Yeah, and the only
Block
reason
the
it
easy
used to be
camp.
observers was because the duration was the
Exactly,
same. Or it
it
was
was
longer. So
different,
like
yeah.
it was like, okay, well we have to sack an observer in this terrible spot that gives no vision, but we're blocking the camp. And now sentries are 6 minutes, and you're like, oh, sweet.
yeah
They're a little pricier though,
yeah.
but that's okay.
It's pretty legit, dude. I think that's something that offlaners are going to start doing every single game.
The battle begins.
Look at this Shadow Shaman just manning up. 78 damage without draw range or aura.
Like this hero, how does he just suddenly have the second highest base damage in the game? That was one of the strangest buffs I've ever seen in Dota. It's like Treant, and then it's just Shadow Shaman. It's just like, okay.
Frog's like,
Yeah.
well, he's been in the game forever, so let's give him something.
You've earned it, buddy.
You've earned
So
it.
random, actually.
You hit as hard as a tree.
I get it with Tree because he's like, you know, literally a tree, or Tiny because he's a giant rock. But
Well, it's
this
magic.
Shadow Shaman just has mad game,
guess
and he
he-
just got completely busted there putting that sentry. Like that was completely
So
scouted.
2 sentries plus a Tango used to block that spawn.
First Metamorph already coming out from BSJ. Snaking tries to dodge it a bit. We'll see that there is a sentry in the lane. Pings it out. Seafreak doesn't have an additional sentry at the moment, so it's a lot of harassment, you know. Metamorph and a silencer with the glaives.
I'm actually really glad that it's Z-Freak on the Shadow Shaman, because I know he likes Wyvern, he likes Shadow Shaman too, but I think in this game you want the blink on the Shadow Shaman because it's more important for the single target initiation than the AoE initiation of the Winner's Curse. Because like you're looking after an Ember and you're looking for a Terrorblade. Like
Yeah.
those 2 big heroes, if you can just get that Hex on them, then you just win the fight.
You are against the global though, so it's hard. It's a little hard to. But like you said, the hex doesn't really, the global doesn't really affect the hex at all. But you can global and then like use
Yeah,
the
then they
Sunder or
can't
something.
follow up on the Hex
But
too.
global's not always
you
off
dare.
cooldown is the thing. So you definitely, they can definitely get pickoffs with the shaman.
Eager to see my boy Boris over here on something else than the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit can be a bit more, you know, fragile as far as when he can hit his stride. I feel like Rubik can be pretty game ready whenever throughout the game. He's got tools to set things up.
See how far forward he's playing? That's Boris the Brave.
Boris
He's
the
upgraded.
Brave.
There's a meme in the EU scene for Russian players who suddenly start like speaking Russian. It's just the Boris. So
You mean
What
like
would that be
Empire?
in America? What would his name be? That's a Todd. What a real
Classic
Todd over
Jefferson
there.
over here.
Fucking Jaff. Jaff the Jester.
oh, so mid lane 13 against 11. Ember Spirit bringing a bottle, which means that Limp is gonna have pretty much a full wave to deny and kill.
Have you ever met a Todd?
No, just sounds very American to me.
I had like a good friend. Dick brother was named Todd for sure.
Brother, that's another name that's really gone out of style. You don't hear a lot
Todd.
of dicks anymore.
Oh, I did know I did know a Todd. He was a dick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Right,
don't know a
in high
Todd that I
school.
was like good friends with.
He always wore the muscle shirts where you see the big muscles. You know, what are they called?
Oh.
White beaters.
Yeah.
You know, the shirt doesn't actually give them the muscles. You do have to get the
It
muscles.
gives the
first.
muscles. No, it does. It's like an illusion, 100%. Because you know,
One
under
more
the shirt they got
head.
the big gut.
Pull back, looking to go for Gork. The Drow leads into Monkey's stop. The slash, the double edge, all going to work this time, and it's going to be ROOONS who secures the first blood this go around.
I mean, they're not supposed to win that bottom lane with Wyvern and Drow. They're just enabling other lanes. Mid lane 5 more CS and 7 more denies for Limp.
Yeah, we talked about this being like a somewhat even back and forth skill base, but it kind of goes out the window when there's a Drow strat.
It definitely does. Then also Limp is like, I think he's literally rank 1 in NA. So
Yeah, and he's especially good on TA. That's like one of his big heroes.
And that's
too.
not to say that Danny can't beat him in the mid lane. Obviously he can, but you have the last pick. I do feel like you probably want to pick something that's...
Boris.
Now he's getting into the action here. ROOONS continue to get their hands dirty with another takedown of Drow.
Dude, Gorg's got to be careful, man. You step out of position for a second in this lane, you just instantly evaporate.
Quick snag of the invis from bottom will be something that compLexity have to keep on high alert.
Oh my
Ooh, I'm
God.
catching Limp, who's just barely walking away from some extra
Top
damage
lane.
here. Meanwhile, back at top, Shackle set down. Good eyes there. Lacoste, BSJ, not going to be able to wand his way out of that one. Does get zapped down.
Wow. Observer Lacoste, not even on the controls, and he's saving this.
Yeah, he's pulling me out here.
Unbelievable.
I am
I'm just
mad
chilling.
rusty with the ops,
Yeah.
gentlemen. It's been a hot minute.
I've seen more Silencer not going for a last word, so they skip it, go for Glaives of Wisdom, and your Arcane Curse is way more costly right now, so you run out of mana, and your
Yeah.
Global Silence is also 100 mana, actually 50 mana more, 75 and 100 on level 3.
And this matchup, it's especially good too because you can Glaives the Shao Shaman over and over because you have longer attack range, and you can just stand in the creep wave and constantly like abuse your positioning.
That is true. And you know that like if he ever runs away from you, which he's going to have to do at some point, you get like 3 extra hits on him because he's
Yeah.
shorter attack range.
Silencer's just a smug hero for sure.
He is.
He's
Like,
very
that's a good-
smug in his
That's
way
a
through the
good
glaives.
word.
Got him with the glaives.
Dude, it's
Smug.
every time you're just you like go into a fight, you wipe them, and then a silencer's just like Arcane Curse. He's like, yeah, I got you. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, are you serious?
You're all jumping on Silencer, how he's good, but I wanted to say that this is pretty bad because he's out of mana. Like, he's not stealing anything, they're not getting kills when meta is up.
It's got no items.
Yeah, he has no mana as well. He can use Arcane
yeah,
Curse,
curse
and
him.
they're not gonna get a
Oh.
kill.
Come on,
It's
go for the
pretty
curse,
much
you guys.
pointless to use it right now.
Yeah, he needs to get into some action here if he wants to be the beneficiary of any sort of resources. But a lot of ROOONS' firepower has been coming through this bottom lane, it looks like. Setup and pressure onto the Drow, trying to keep her down. Doesn't change things, though, for Limp in the TA. I imagine there's going to be a point when she's going to want to snowball out into the other lanes.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about that first Roche timing. I feel like who's going to be fighting for the side of the Dire? Like, if this Ember is slowed down significantly, your TB is not really ready to come fight.
Centaur, I guess, because he's having a.
He's
decent
going
lane.
straight through,
Yeah.
he just got it.
And he has to be the enabler in that big Roche pit fight, and you're fighting into Shaman wards.
Okay, this might help bring the TA down a peg. Leading in with
Good
Boris,
trap, though.
set up telekinesis. I annihilate with the rune, but they don't have quite enough lockdown that can. Oh, nice fade
Oh.
bolt of the south. And a right click.
That's why you need a sentry in the mid lane against TA, or she just does that.
Radiant's middle
Just
tower
walks away.
is under
Because the
attack.
trap slows for so much at the max
Dire's bottom tower
charge.
is under attack.
More poking back and
The-
forth here.
The weird thing.
Nice catch here. Finish. For every time they punish the Drow Ranger, they're able to kind of get equally as punishing on the BSJ in the top lane.
Yeah.
When you have Silencer in your team, you want to pair it up with a hero that plays aggressive. Terrorblade is really not a hero, so a lot of chaos is created, and he steals a lot of vent, which favors the
I mean,
Yeah,
I imagine
yeah, you're right.
Silencer. But if you but if you pair him up with a Terrorblade, you're not gonna get any kind of kills.
I mean, you don't want to. I was gonna say you don't want to shove the Silencer to the bottom lane in a full aggro lane that early and leave your Terribly totally hung out to dry. Or do you want to do that?
Well, you want a Wyvern with your Terribly. You don't want a Silencer. You want a babysitter.
I was gonna say, yeah, you
Radiant's
like
bottom
or
tower
like a
is
lich.
under
or a
attack.
Bane or something.
Just
Yeah.
sits there and like. I mean, I guess Silencer can kind of do that, but it feels like with the mana changes, it's a little hard to just sit there and zone. I mean, he's constantly out of mana. Yeah, this is kind of exactly how I suspected this mid matchup would go. Like, this is very typical for TA versus Ember.
The jungle retreat. Now you have a Terrorblade and an Ember sharing the jungle too.
Oh no, dude. That's not good.
Yeah, looks like lane controls coming together pretty nicely for compLexity. You may, make the argument that compLexity's bottom lane might have been their weaker setup. A couple of hits to Drow, and sure, the biggest beneficiary is Monkeys right now on this Centaur, but what is the Centaur going to be able to do to try to pull things back for the rest of the team?
Well, they need to use his ulti to get on top of them, on top of T8. Once Drow Ranger hits level 6, I think the advantage for compLexity is just going to keep rising, so they need to use this Centaur ulti, try to get a couple of kills. Ember is level 6, has 3 remnants, so that's a lot of burst damage.
This is such a hard moment, I find, versus Drow lineups, too. Like, right now, you know what Drow's doing, right? She hasn't been in this lane for a while. She's doing her full jungle cycle rotation, and she's going to get to 6 this way. So, should you just leave your Centaur down there? Like, is this worth it right now for the side of, for Team ROOONS? Because he's getting in towards a Blink Dagger. No one else is farming this lane, so he's technically denying that gold away from the Radiant team. But if this game just drags on like this, it feels like Cole is just going to have that big explosion with the marksmanship.
I've definitely played games where you have like the carry go to the jungle and then you just go chase them and it never works out.
Yeah.
Like, it's unfortunate, but the jungle is so slow that you kind of have to just stay in the lane, I think. And if anybody's going to go to the Drow, you abuse the fact that you know the Drow's there and you take a smoke with these three heroes right now and kill the Drow.
Yeah, and
that's what you want to do.
They don't have that roaming 4, right? Like, they don't have any sort of a good enabler for a sort of smoke like that.
You for sure, like, they got to make a rotation together because they, like you said, like, they don't really have a great, guy that's just going to go solo and destroy the Drow.
A little bit of roaming right now, but more towards the southern half of the map, just getting a couple of wards along the way. But as you mentioned, Drow continues to just build up this offshore account that she'll eventually just pop out into the public with soon enough.
Seafreak's just waiting to stack those Ancients? Is that what he's really doing? I saw him stacking some other camps already, too. Yeah, he's on. On this game.
Yeah.
What a support. Oh, he dropped his Tranquils, too.
Tranquils, yeah.
My God, dude.
This guy.
What the hell, man?
I gotta get max efficiency,
That
fellas.
actually saves you so much time, though.
He's thinking about that, too.
Yeah.
Actually, he's
The
not
other thing about it, he got
that
it. It's just
it's an impulse.
Exactly.
It's an impulse.
What is BSJ doing on bottom? He's stealing Centaur's farm. They should just enable Centaur. I also can't believe that Centaur went for Hood of Defiance against Drow lineup. Like, they literally have 0 magical damage. Shadow Shaman, Ether Shock, and Winter Wyvern spell. That's it.
Hey, whoa, Shikuchi. Whoa.
Calm down.
I do feel like I get why BSJ is down here. This is like a very typical lane rotation. You just take the losing lane, pair 2 cores together, make a lane really strong, you push the tower. But when you're playing against a team like this, they know that's going to happen, so E is just sitting in the trees juking, and if they ever dive him, they can just TP down here. Like, that's a premeditated thing. So you need to go for a kill against a team like this if you want to make a rotation like that and get a tower.
No, what I meant was that he took the...
Oh, he took the stack, yeah.
He took the stack from him and delaying Centaur's Blink Dagger, and that's their way to get back into the game.
Yeah, which essentially, like, I think what they should do is, like, they should get a kill with this. Although it's unfortunate he doesn't have meta. Like, he's kind of forced into this position rather than doing it because he wants to. Just it's so awkward.
There's the blink, and that's got to be. I mean, you hope that's a TA kill. That's the real dream here.
That is, yeah, for sure.
They're going on TA without the blink. They're just going on with the Ember and the Silencer for now. They'll get some poking damage. Z-Freak shows up from behind, and they just put all their focus onto that Silencer.
Yeah, it's one of those games where Silencer is going to be completely useless.
Whoa, bottom lane. They're going to actually use this opportunity in that blink to make the jump for Envy, but Envy turns it around with a curse. Stay in your spot.
Disaster.
And he walks out the other side.
Oh my God, they missed the kill mid. They don't use the Stampede for it. Then they use it bottom. They can't even kill Envy. And now they're losing the tier 1. All right, well.
Yikes.
Oh, Envy.
This is, I feel like, oh my God.
They got him.
All
right, the hood. It came in.
It really did. He would have died without that for sure, dude. He would have for sure died. I feel like they need to do some more, like, team rotations. It doesn't seem like they're exactly on the same page. They're kind of playing like a pub a little bit. Like you said, the thing happening mid and then bot right after. It's like, why aren't they just doing these things together?
Oh! Yeah. Hard shots onto Ember. Will force him to retreat out. Jubei walks in and is trying to walk right back out, but ow! Oh! Ah! He gets shot down 3 times in the back, and he's going to be face first in the mud. Follow-up takedown, though, as Monkeys jumps into play, and it was a bait the whole time.
Yeah, that was a good rotation.
Yeah.
That was exactly where he needs to be.
He did get the 397 net worth silencer, though, so, I mean, Limp surely.
That is true.
Pretty pleased with that one.
That was pretty good.
For less than 200 gold. All right. They have Arcane Curse in 2 seconds. Shadow Shaman. Oh.
Shadow Shaman!
Not
Never mind.
So Rubik has Shikuchi stolen. They should also try to play around that spell.
Oh. Centaur? Oh, they don't, he's not going for
He's getting
he
pretty
is going
deep
for it.
here.
He's in enemy territory.
Whoa! Blinks himself out from potentially getting locked down and makes his full rotation already towards the bottom where they see Envy. Looking to hopefully make the dragon pay once again. He doesn't have a TP though. Can they catch him? It looks like they will.
it. Oh my god.
He uses the curse again.
If he had TP there, he actually would have lived, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. But it was like 8 seconds away.
This is like kind of a repeat of the last game. We just see them stalling for this bot tower, and then the entire side of Runes is just sticking down here trying to get this. It's does not bode well, especially when you have a Drow and a TA that are farming.
Yeah.
I mean, so's the Weaver. The Weaver's been sitting in the top lane the whole game. They have 3 heroes that are just farming separately. They're playing so greedy right now.
Yeah, Snaking's just doing the same thing he did last game, where he's just constantly pushing. And
Was that
all right.
Was that a solo kill?
Looks like Z-Freak is able to utilize
how
his
did that
warriors for an
happen?
opportunity to get the swift takedown onto BSJ.
All right.
Z-Freak can gloat about it for a bit. He will lose his own life, but he's
can-
happy.
I can see how this goes, right? You're the Terrorblade. You're at like half HP. You're waiting for the fight to be forced. So your team smoked up behind you, but you don't expect to get hexed, zapped, shackled, and snaked.
Yeah.
And like your
I
whole
mean,
HP goes
that
down.
takes time. Silencer had global. If he
That's true.
wanted, he could have used it and saved him there.
It kind of feels like the team play is like crumbling a little bit from their, like you said, where's the silence, you know?
Who do you think would be like leading this team on the Dire?
BSJ, for sure.
Yeah.
But I do know that under a lot of pressure, he definitely, sometimes his captaining falls off. He gets like, loses confidence, you know?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Miss action there, but it is going to be Boars who's dropped from the hands of Snake King here in the top lane. They keep floating around that lane and keep the lanes pressured on forward. They've been able to get a couple of tier 1 towers themselves, but haven't been too pressured to kind of pull the trigger just yet.
Two-shot
and Limp pulls the trigger twice right there to get the finish onto Silencer.
I was gonna say earlier that the draft complexity is interesting because the TA likes to play in a relatively similar style to like the Drow and the Weaver, kind of like just split pushing, farming one side of the map alone. But he actually goes for the blink instead of the Deso, so he's fighting, like recognizing that.
Yeah, he doesn't need more damage because he has it from
my
Throw
Envy,
Aura.
please.
Right.
Please, how?
He's just saving his ult for these opportunities
Oh,
to
the angle.
hopefully narrowly make it out from trouble, and this time he's successful. Cost him a curse,
All
but
right. Envy
he's
has
alive.
bought so much space in this game.
Yes, they've delayed this tower push for so long
Bottom tower has fallen.
that they've got the mid tier 1, the top tier 1.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the top lane, you have Weaver, who almost has Manta style to
the
get
most
rid of
farmed.
those silencers and the Amber Spirit Searing Chains.
God damn.
A little bit too greedy on the mid lane.
yeah, Z-Freak trying to
Dire's top
advance
tower
the game
is
forward
under
a bit.
attack.
Does get taken down. Limp heads out one direction. Boris is on his chase. He continues his own pursuit, looking to rendezvous with Annihilate, but Limp headed out the other direction. Up and through the mid lane.
So this Drow is not that far. Like, I mean, obviously just been permanently jungling, so the net worth doesn't go up that fast. But it's only a 1K lead right now for Cole, which I'm a little surprised by.
Yep, not nearly as dramatic than what we saw in the previous game. And there's still a dual / tricore on Rune's side as well. I don't know how much you want to factor the Centaur into that, but they have late game potential.
I thought they would have needed more kills at this point for the Dire to actually still be hanging in here. And they've kind of weathered the storm of the marksmanship coming out and everything for the Drow Ranger, and they didn't lose all too much.
The Drow's really like the main reason that they're not way farther ahead on complexity.
Dire's
So
middle
his game has
tower
been really
is
rough.
under attack.
Yeah.
It's taken him so long to ramp up until this point. I mean, now he's going to start going faster and faster because he actually has levels. But it's taken him so long to get to this point.
Well, she doesn't have items right now, but they can play aggressively on other lanes. This Winter Wyvern is gonna get a lot of farm just sitting on a bot lane. You have a Winter
Radiant's
Wyvern,
bottom tower is
I mean
under
Weaver
attack.
on top lane, who has that Manta style, so she can be even more aggressive, and TA can always get a solo pick off on this Silencer, who doesn't even have boots at this point.
It's interesting to see the way that they prioritize farm. Like they are essentially just fighting and sacrificing kills for defending the bottom tower to give the Weaver the farm until he gets the Manta. And then, like you said, the moment he gets the Manta, he's probably going to start fighting with them, and then the Drow will take over as the kind of like hard farming hero. Because with the Manta, he can definitely fight. There's so much that he takes off.
All right, when's Banana going to start slamming here? That's my question.
Oh, he's going to just slam right now.
So
Boom, boom,
slam
boom.
him. All right, that's what I need in my life right now. So TA kills.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if this was like a WWE match, I feel like the Dire Heroes look way scarier. Like, look at these wimps crawling into the ring here on the Radiant side. Yeah, am I worried about any of these guys? Like, what the Octagon?
I mean, there's like
Throw me in there.
like
you
a
know,
dragon. I
Who's
mean,
McGregor? Who's jumping out of the ring on this one?
Centaur is definitely McGregor. First off, I mean, look at that guy. I mean, the face is basically identical. I think they have the same beard.
Oh, McGregor. McGregor. Take down to the Freak. And ROOONS continue to try to string together what kills they can to stay afloat in this one, much closer than what we saw in the previous game. And as you guys were talking about a bit before, compLexity, you know, they have their game plan in motion here, but it's taking a bit more time than they'd like. Do you think Drow still has that, like, hanging time,
I think
like,
he's playing
expiration
WoW.
mark?
Like, I'm trying to figure out what Gork's been doing, but, like, all he's done is just A-click through the jungle, so I'm pretty sure something's happening on the other monitor.
Certainly there's a wolf here with a quest that will
Yeah.
give me the item to win the game.
He might be in the artifact beta. I think there's a high probability that's what he's been up to this entire time. Not a whole lot of effort required from this Drow
You
player.
mean he's playing WoW while
Yeah,
playing
like right now,
Okay,
like
I
this
got
is
you.
happening at this moment.
Yeah,
because what
yeah.
is he really? I think there's a whole lot of just click to camp. Like this might be a bot for all
And then
we
he
know.
he alt tabs back into Dota and just forgets that it's Dota and just keeps playing WoW by like hitting all the creeps. And
Yeah, that's pretty much all that's
Yeah.
happening right now. It's
Yeah, I
very
got
much a PvE game
he's
right
playing.
now for
He's
Drow.
playing Lords on mobile right now. That's what he's doing.
Oh, snap. That sounds like a hype game. We'll have to check that one
It's
out
a
a bit
really
later.
legit game. Yeah.
Words on mobile.
And if you ever get bored of Dota or just the feeders, just go into that game. You can play it on
On
your mobile phone as
Google
well,
App
unlike
Store.
Dota.
Jump in. And another takedown onto Limp.
Dude,
Back-to-back takedowns.
Limp is feeding hard.
Monkeys is
Yeah,
in action right
This
now.
is supposed to be TA Roach time, but
He's
it's
my-
TA
he's
Grave time.
He's McGregoring hard, dude, on Monkeys. When is Limp gonna jump out of the booth
I don't
and
know.
beat up
Soon, I
somebody in
hope.
the crowd?
Z-Freak latching down with assistance of Snake King's firepower. They're going to get the finish onto Annihilate. This Ember goes up into smoke.
Mid laner's feeding, man.
Not good. No bueno.
I hear he retired from casting.
Yeah, I think so. I think the bueno's out.
I think he's out.
Kinder bueno.
Speaking of playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, Bot's definitely hard. I'm there with him, though. I'm not going to lie. I've done a couple of raids this season with Bot leading me the way.
Oh, he's a good leader.
He's a good leader. But yes,
What is
but
this
rest
guy
in peace.
doing? He's
But rest in peace.
ripping pepperoni's mom.
All right, and it looks like
All right,
the
finally.
Roche will finally be acquired from
All right.
compLexity with the assistance of the wards. They'll get it done that much faster. Looks like little to no contention for it. And Aegis will be pocketed by Limp.
He needs that Aegis. he's
Yeah.
been feeding.
He's been on the bad end of a couple of ganks here, a couple of good,
Yeah.
nice little setups from ROOONS.
Man, even dropped the snakes for that one.
Radiant's
I
bottom
thought maybe they'd
tower
try and
is
save it
under
for like an
attack.
instant push after with the Aegis. but
I guess it's because like the Ember was. They had a very small window and it's the game is actually
yeah,
close.
just guarantee it.
Yeah. Monkeys is really
Okay, Z-Freak has a fairy fire in his stash.
wow.
Hi-oh.
Who is this man? Like, need that 21-minute
yeah,
fairy fire.
He's just waiting. He knows he's gonna need to use that later in the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The Centaur is so farmed, has that Crimson Guard, which is going to help them against pretty much physical damage. Also, when Winter Wyvern uses ulti.
Does Jubei have 06 stolen it? Okay.
Maybe
This is
a
really
bit
ballsy though.
Yeah,
Or-
this is crazy.
Stick.
Jubei goes for the TP out.
Guys,
He's
no
gone.
damage, dude.
Oh, the curse, though.
Yes. Where's the heal?
Radiant structures are
Now,
fortified.
Wow.
Monkey says, see you later.
That was very
So that
aggressive.
actually worked out.
It actually worked out.
Wow,
Because
we're seeing ROOONS make action happen across the map,
Yeah,
pulling
and then they-
space.
Yeah.
And then they take the mid tower.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if it didn't work out, that was kind of like a we're gonna draw all the attention, so go mid.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Radiant's
Really,
middle
really
tower
nice.
has been
ROOONS
denied.
are stepping up to the plate here as we
Radiant's
break
top
through what
tower
feels like
is
a
under
halfway
attack.
point in game number 2. Starting to send their way through. There's a lot of towers still on the map for them. I mean, that was just their second tier 1 tower, so there's plenty of money out there to make
Yeah.
if they can maintain the map advantage.
Ooh,
Oh,
are
this
we
is hard
smoking
kill to
after?
get.
Nearby monkeys, but
Oh damn, monkeys broke the smoke. Didn't even
Radiant's
realize.
top tower is under attack.
oh, Boris.
Boris, the breaker of smokes.
Oh, Boris the Brave.
And Boris. Oh, they actually pull out a
Dire's
global for
bottom
that.
tower
Oh, that was a
Monkeys
good juke.
catches, does manage to get the snipe onto
no
Z. A
global.
swift takedown for him. Under
Anderson
pressure now is going to
guard.
be Jubei as it chases out there. Limp is going to be able to get that finish. 2-for-1 trade though.
is under attack.
And now swinging in. Limp once more. Trying to go for Annihilate. Can't get the finish. That will cost him his Aegis. And now ROOONS reform. Snaking. Wiggling with through the trees.
He has no ulti. Just be careful.
Oh god, it's so close.
He's just sitting Sakuchi to one spot.
Oh! What a dodge.
Nice sidestep there. Gonna avoid the crush.
Do you think that was a mistake by Limp to jump the silencer? Because like he'd already globaled, and like his other team was just like fighting these other heroes.
I think it's like the only person he can kill though. The TB has such high armor. The Ember just
Yeah.
zips away. The Centaur has a Crimson Guard, so
Just take advantage of what you can get.
it's actually an awkward TA game. I'm kind of understanding the Ember pick more and more. It's more so like a game counter than it is for the lanes.
Yeah,
Just-
make it difficult to like 5-man push early on
yeah.
with this lineup.
Right, like the Centaur Stomp and then the Ember spells and the Silencer spells, it's just tearing through the refraction.
Great spam. Good high ceiling, obviously, on your Ember, so that when you are able to kind of persevere through the scary Drow push phase, that you have that late game to fall back on.
Yeah, and you can go for like a physical resist build too, like build Shiva's Guard, Aquila, things like that. And it's really good against these physical heroes.
Man, this is a real poor game for old Z-Freak, eh? Like, Envy's quite a bit ahead of him in terms of net worth, and Z-Freak's just stuck trying to go towards an Aether Lens for a long time.
Yeah, because Envy was doing what his team needed to. He was just standing on the bottom lane,
Yeah.
and he has a GPM talent as well, so he was getting a lot of farm.
Yeah.
I find if you're not winning with Shaman though, it's really bad when you have no items. Because like you can't make moves without a Blink Dagger. But when you're winning with Shaman, your team's doing fine, you don't need any items. Because all you're there for is the counter Hex if someone jumps in, or snakes on a tower.
Yeah, you just like beeline down a lane, drop the snakes on a tower, or a hero if a hero comes to defend the tower.
Has fallen.
But yeah, Shaman's one of those heroes, he feels really bad to play from behind. Although they're ahead. So.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like it though,
It
does
does
it?
not.
Like,
That-
because they're not getting enough done with a TA Drow at this point.
Yeah, the TA feels like a big issue, but he's about to pick up a BKB, so all of the threats that we've talked about are no longer really an
Okay.
issue.
So BKB, Roche 2 with the Aegis and Cheese is the definitive spike for Radiant.
Yeah. I actually think
Snaking's been spotted,
stolen ulti.
and ROOONS quickly
Manta.
converge.
That was
What is
sick.
that? Time
silence.
lapse, off and out. Heads out the other direction. They are going to be able to shackle him down and look to burn him apart. While this is happening, there is a pressure coming in through the
Envy!
top. Envy, clutch save, and the push continues on the top.
Oh my god.
Are fortified.
While they continue to try to get a hold of complexity in the mid lane, ROOONS are neglecting the pressure on the top lane. They are going to
I wonder how they
finally
got
get a couple of down, but boy,
I thought they were going to get out for sure. I don't know if they went back in to try and cancel
did too,
TPs or
yeah.
something, but
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I mean, if they get out there and they get that damage on the top tower, it's so good.
Yeah.
But it's actually very, very good for ROOONS, because they're not going to get an opportunity like that again.
Oh,
Very
nice
likely.
heroes.
confident chase in leads to a successful pickoff of Gore on that Drow, and that
Oh.
should lead into maybe a +1 tower here.
That felt like a bit of an unnecessary Hail Mary from Cole, didn't it? Like,
It does. I feel like the pressure, they feel the pressure in this game,
yeah.
whereas we can see that the advantage isn't actually that much. It just, the draft is very hard. It feels very hard for them to play against. Maybe it's because they're so used to Z-Freak usually having like a massive impact.
Yeah. Plus, a big part of the advantage on the Radiant side, well, the advantage they had was tied up in like in the supports. There's like a 3K support difference or
Yeah.
something, but
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
a 2K support or like 2K net worth silencer actually does a lot
Yeah.
compared to a 6K Wyvern.
Yeah, for sure. We talked about Wyvern really need to hurt yourself that much.
Envy with the classic defensive curse to try to survive. He's gone.
God damn, ownage. They're owning.
So this is going to be a problem. Ember Spirit with all those items. Blink Dagger, Yule Scepter, so he can get rid of the silence. Not the best catch they have. Shadow Shaman needs 800 more gold to get a Blink Dagger. A bit less, 600 now. And this Centaur is going really big. He has Aghanim Scepter finished. He just needs to use the chicken.
Mighty Roar, blink into the mid lane. Leads to a swift takedown of Z-Freak.
What I'm really worried about for complexity is how do they ever kill the Terror Blade going late? Like,
Yeah, he's so much armor.
they only have physical damage, right? It's actually only physical damage. Like Ether Shock from the Shadow Shaman, like that's about it, you know?
Yeah, and he's going for the butterfly too because he knows.
Yeah, he knows that's the only way that they can kill him because it's the only damage that they really have.
You pretty much need like Mjolnir.
You need
as
some like
Weaver.
Mjolnirs and Sheeps and stuff.
Jump here, back behind the tier 2, looking to get the swift takedown of Envy, and they got it. Follow for Limp could be there, and it is. He even popped the BKB for that one. He's going to be out, no buyback on this TA. Could ROOONS be moving in for a hit to the jugular here?
Yeah, man, this is a Terrorblade Gaming. One fight, all of your buildings.
They're gonna go for this for sure because okay, they're gonna try to force his buyback because he has it now.
They have global.
They
so
don't have
can
Wyvern
fight.
buyback though.
Wyvern is the most important hero too.
Yeah.
To the high ground to ensure all the hits. That's the tier 3 down, and it looks like ROOONS are going to be doing the first significant base damage of this game.
What's the Envy gold status right now there, Dakota? Did he already buy back? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, he's got
Oh, he must be
288.
just shy.
He bought out the.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
rough.
unfortunate.
You really can't do that on support heroes. Like, you need your buyback.
Not against a Terrorblade.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Look at that, cost them their mid lane and the bottom lane. It looks
Nothing
like.
makes me angrier than silencers that don't have buyback. It actually makes me want to scream. Like, if you're playing support silencer, you don't have buyback, like, you are so screwing up.
Roar, jumping from Monkeys, catches 2. Nice little curse there, though. Silence comes out just after. They'll still get that finish onto Z-Freak. Potential crisis
Dude,
averted.
this game is over. Like there's no way that they kill these cores with this lineup.
This Centaur is not gonna die. He's level 21. Once he reaches, if he reaches 25, the return aura, they're just gonna kill themselves.
Well, now, hold on here, guys. Whoa.
Oh,
Slow
whoa.
down.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Return
Pump
aura.
the brakes here,
Okay.
okay? This is a Shadow Shaman.
Oh, okay.
There are some rules in Dota, all right? If Shadow Shaman ever gets a refresher, the game's back on. You know, if he ever gets a refresher shard, you just lost. You can't fight them. It's impossible. You probably have one of the best heroes in the game in the Terrorblade to do it with, so it's probably not even going to matter.
A Shaman game.
But we are going to
with
find any
Envy
sort
in
of
it.
hope we can.
You're really selling it to me,
Yeah.
here, Trent. I'm really sold.
Force
Boom.
does go down. Cole do manage to at least string a little support pick off. Shaman game and an Envy game. So with
Exactly.
those two together, something magical could happen. And if you're not a believer, well, then you don't believe in magic. Therefore, you don't believe in Disney or Mickey Mouse.
Or the Wizard.
Or the Wizard either. And you just don't belong on the earth.
Got him.
Whoa, that's brutal.
Because everybody should believe in magic.
That's a harsh burn, man. You don't belong on Earth.
You don't belong on flat Earth.
Well, we're all on flat Earth. I mean,
Well, yeah,
I don't want to
I
get too
mean-
crazy here, guys. Come on now. Let's stick to some science.
We're on the flat moon, that's for sure.
So a bit of a slowdown here for ROOONS after they get their initial advantage, maybe holding out for the next prime opportunity.
Nah,
They
dude, they're-
squeeze in for a Roche.
They're savoring it. That's what they're doing.
Savoring.
They're enjoying it.
Hoping for a takedown possibly onto Envy. They decide to make the call out as Monkey swings in from behind. Catches out the Wyvern. This time has that buyback at the ready, but they've just lost Z-Freak. Also has a buyback ready. They could be holding out for maybe a Roche defense as soon as this fizzles out. Can Snake King make it away? He's forced to Manta. And I think that'll be the end of it. Without a time lapse, there's no escaping it there. Does buyback though. This
Oh, double damage.
could be the final hurrah here for
Oh, yeah.
complexity.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Convenient.
jumped in. There's the silence. Gork able to bump back the Ember. In the meantime, though, BSJ gets the swift finish of that Roche.
Force the Brave.
Jumps in, takedown there. Looking to blast apart Boris. He has a Sakuchi, though, runs out the other side. Here comes BSJ with that mighty DD. rolling in, jump up from Monkeys, and the finish of Snake King. He goes down over 100 seconds without a buyback.
Jeez, where's the Necro in this game? My goodness. That was a long respawn for 30 minutes.
No Envy and
GG?
no Weaver. The GG's been called from Limp, and that's going to do it. We finish our first 2-game series 1-1.
And despite it being
Wow,
a relatively even game throughout most of that, look at the net worth difference right at like that 32-minute mark. That basically looks like last game.
Yeah.
Just a complete obliteration at the end.
You know, Limp said enjoy, and they did. They enjoyed themselves. Winning's pretty enjoyable.
He didn't say enjoying the game too, right?
Oh, no,
No.
That's
he
probably
didn't.
the
No, he
problem.
It counted for the whole series, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course,
All right.
of course.
I
He's got
talked
the-
during the draft about that strength hero the draw lineup needs to have. They went full greedy. Offlaner was a Weaver, so they didn't have the hero to initiate, no one to stand in the front line, and TA got picked up way too many times.
Yeah, that was the big
When
thing.
they were strongest, right?
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
go for a Roche so they can snowball. They decided to get some fancy-ass fights.
There's a very
kinda
specific
backfired.
formula, right, for
Yeah.
a draft. It's like you're supposed to hit that peak with the TA just like that, and you go into the Roche pit, and that's where your game plays out from there. And he died like 3 times at the most crucial moment.
The thing is, I mean, sometimes you can go late with these heroes, but against the ROOONS lineup, I don't know how they kill any one of the cores when the game goes late. So
Yeah.
it's like, it feels like they were okay with going late and playing the split push game, thinking that they'd choke them out and get a bunch of farm, which they did. But then when it just slips away and it goes late, it's like, okay, how do we actually kill these heroes? Like too late, they realized that they didn't actually have any answers for like a Terrorblade late game, because I mean, it's all physical damage.
They didn't group up as 5. Draw
Basically,
Rangers
yeah.
spent way too much time in jungle.
He's playing WoW, man.
It's the Drow Dota
He's
right
playing
now, man.
RuneScape, selling rune skimmies.
Come on, it's their stand-in of a stand-in. Also, we gotta remember
That's
that.
true. It's true.
Gork, they're without Jo originally, who's be there, but hey, congratulations to both teams. They'll walk away from this first series at least with 1 point.
What does that mean?
I don't know, it's
1 point of what?
1 point of
1 gold shilling from
one
the king?
Yeah.
gold coin.
All right,
All
perfect.
right.
The 2 teams with the most gold coins will move in the playoffs, of course.
Ah, excellent.
So-
They have to buy their way and pay their taxes to their king. Come, my serfs.
We pay them in Dota winnings. So compLexity versus Vendetta is going to be our next upcoming series, gentlemen.
All right.
Before that, we are going to be taking a little bit of a break between series to let compLexity rest a bit. And, of course, we're also going to be gearing up for our first role swap of the day. So we'll get to check out some of the new roles and their features and what's to come, and we'll continue more King's Cup, any Dota action after that break.